Our next guest is Nerida Thompson, who is coordinating all that, it seems. Nerida, can you tell our listeners about the project that you guys are running, your group is running at the moment?
Yeah, sure. So it's called Neighbours United for Climate Action, and we're just trying to have a real local feel to it. Last year in the lead up to what lots of us thought was the climate election, lots of us were feeling quite overwhelmed by how many different elements there were to this whole crisis. And I almost felt this kind of paralysis. There are so many different groups that I wanted to support, so many campaigns, so many actions I wanted to take, and I couldn't quite work out how do I commit to one when, I want to support all of them. They're all important, but I've got 2 young children. I'm working part-time. I can't do it all. And after a Climate for Change conversation at my friend's house, there was a dinner one night, I just thought, this is great. We've all connected, all these different people that I didn't know before, and we've all come away with this sense of urgency. But now what? So that's where, we then caught up, that host and the Climate for Change facilitator and I got together with this idea that, well, let's stick together. We're all from this area. What if we were a team and we all kind of, broke up into, I knew that those few neighbours of mine are going to focus on plastics or the circular economy. And I knew that these few friends and neighbours of mine are going to focus on education, and, these other people are going to do this. And so you kind of feel like you can just get your teeth sunk into one aspect of it that you feel really connected to. And if anything pops up that you think would be great for one of the other groups, you can pass it their way and know that they're going to take action on it. And it's okay. You don't have to do everything, because you know that as a collective, as your community, you are covering all bases that you can. So that's the structure of it. We wanted to have this social element to it, where we thought, the first Sunday of every month, we catch up in our little groups, and we know that everyone else is catching up in their little groups, and have that sense of solidarity and empowerment. And that was the intention at the start. But, everyone's got different commitments, and it doesn't always suit everyone. So it's not happening on the first Sunday of every month. But people have come together, and it's been really exciting. So that's one element of it. And just interrupt me if I'm going too fast.
No, you're good.
Okay. And then one thing that so this is called Neighbours United for Climate Action, and we're mainly working out of Moreland and Darebin councils in the inner north of Melbourne, but we wanted to come up with a structure that could work anywhere in Australia in case, anyone wanted to do the same. I should just explain. We also didn't want to be competing for participants. There are so many great organisations and groups. So in our area, we've already got Climate Action Moreland. There's Darebin Climate Action now. There are local ACF community groups. There are heaps. We've got Friends of the Earth. There are so many groups, so we didn't want to compete, but we thought, if we can get some neighbours together and they might decide to support one of those groups' campaigns, but they're representing our community and letting us know. So every month there's a newsletter that goes out, and we can say, each group can say, here's an action that everyone can take to support this, what we're working on. So we're all focusing on one thing, but we can easily support each other and amplify our actions.
This year that's led to something a bit more comprehensive.
So that element of it's taking a little bit longer to really coming up and running, but the other element of it, so that's the climate action side of things, but we also wanted to be building up our skills and resilience as a community. So the other element of what we're doing is running a free community climate action series with another local climate action group called Newlands Parents for Climate Action. So that free series is being run out of the Newlands neighbourhood house, and we've just found the neighbourhood house to be incredibly supportive. We, wouldn't be able to do this without their support. And so twice a month we run a free workshop or talk, and we loosely alternate between advocacy and well-being and resilience. So some of the topics that we've had have been divestment. So we've had someone from Market Forces talk to us about divestment. We've had Susan Rennie, who's the current mayor of Darebin City Council, talk to us about how to effectively engage your MP. We've had composting and worm farms, bike maintenance. We've had, there were just 5 of them from last year. So we've been running these since August last year. We've done forests, we've done citizens' assemblies, and quite a few more I can't think off the top of my head.
And
so
Nerida,
we're trying to... Yep.
I'm sorry, are you doing it now? Are you meeting through Zoom? And have you changed your impetus in light of the restrictions caused by the pandemic?
Yes, we obviously can't be meeting in person, so we've moved that free community climate action series online. We had, so the last one that we had was on Zoom, and that was on citizens' assemblies. The session before that was on mending clothes, and we got that in just before people started to feel a bit nervous about meeting up and before there were restrictions in place. And the next one will be online too, on climate grief.
Are they open to other people, or are they just closed to your group?
No, they're open to the wider public. The reason for that is that we didn't just want people from who are already engaged in the climate movement to be accessing that information and the skills. We wanted to be running something in our neighbourhood house that was open to the wider public. And obviously now that it's online, people, at our last session, we had people from all over Australia, which was an amazing surprise. That was really exciting.
What's the address?
I'll have to let you know. We still haven't got a website. We're working on that. We're on Facebook, but unfortunately not everyone's on Facebook. So
most people are. What's the Facebook address?
Neighbours United for Climate Action.
That's
if you search
that's on
for
Facebook.
that,
yeah, I've got it.
You find that. You can also, we've got a separate Facebook page for this Community Climate Action series. So if you search for Community Climate Action, that should come up. And for people that aren't on Facebook, if you search for Newlands Neighbourhood House, which is in North Coburg, then you'll be able to access some more information without going through Facebook.
Good.
But we will get a website. We're just, we're all young mums with part-time jobs and and not many, we haven't had that many skills. Where it's a steep learning curve.
Yeah. So
we're all
if there's
doing the same.
any aspiring web developers out there, they could contact you, Nerida.
Oh, yeah, we would welcome that. That would be fantastic. Yeah.
Any students that want to hone their skills, we'll
right.
Get in touch with you guys.
We'd love that. Thank you.
We're just about out of time. Just wondering if there's any what's the take-home message for our listeners? Like, is this something you could have imagined yourself doing 12 months ago, 18 months ago?
No, never. I think, and that's the thing, you never know who you're going to inspire by taking action. I remember being a little girl and hearing a news story about a little boy who lived with his grandmother who managed to fit all their rubbish every week in 1 litre milk cartons. And that stayed with me my entire life. And now as an adult, when I moved into this area, there was someone who was just always doing things in the community. And I just didn't understand how does that person know what to do? How do they make things happen in our community? And that's what I've found inspiring. I've realised that anyone can step up, and if you get in touch with your local council, then they can provide you with an enormous amount of support, or the neighbourhood house, or other local climate action groups, or bigger national organisations can give you some guidance. So I think take some action, because you never know what that ripple effect is going to cause. You can inspire all sorts of people.
Terrific, Nerida. behalf of everyone at the Sustainable Hour team, thank you for your time and appreciate it, and good on you for doing what you're doing there. And we'll get back to you down the track a bit to see what your next project is, because you can't go back to doing nothing once you've done this sort of thing.
Great. Thanks so much for having me. It's an honour. Thank you.
The Sustainable Hour.
For a green, clean, sustainable Geelong. The Sustainable Hour.